The plan, the Bowles-Simpson plan, does contain some very draconian spending cuts, especially in the shorter term. I can't imagine them happening, and if they did, I would fear that they would really hurt low-income families. It does include radical tax reform, which I think has helped to break open this stalemate here in Washington in a really significant way. As Rudy says, the concrete is at least cracking, if not crumbling, on that front. And I'll be very surprised if we don't have tax reform over the next year or two. And we can only hope it looks like the vision that the Commission presented to the country, because these so-called tax subsidies, Commission calls them tax earmarks, which I think is a great label, because they are over $1 trillion a year, unlike the normal earmarks, which are only about $16 billion a year. So $16 billion versus $1 trillion. It's a huge difference. And they are like earmarks. They're not only large, they're very unfair, they're very regressive, and they're very inefficient. They really interfere with what Doug said about economic growth and opportunity. So that was a wonderful part of this report and this conversation. I thought the reforms to Social Security were very reasonable. They phase in enormously slowly. How can anybody worry about beginning to have a change in the retirement age 40 years from now? The benefits for the low income were actually increased, and also for the old, as has already been pointed out, and there is a hardship exemption for those in manual jobs. I hear a lot of people on the left complaining about the Social Security piece and putting out data that says that the Social Security population or beneficiaries are very badly off. And it's true that the typical Social Security recipient doesn't have much income and doesn't get a lot of benefits. But if you look at the entire distribution, which I have done, of Social Security recipients, it includes people like me. And I will get more than $1 million from the federal government during my retirement years. And do I need that? Well, you decide. You know, do I like it? You betcha. That's what I'd say if I was Sarah Palin. But I don't think I need it. And just to give you one statistic there, 20% in 2008, which is the last data we have, and it'll be much higher in the future, but 20% of elderly households in 2008 had incomes above $75,000 a year. And so this whole notion that they can't be asked to sacrifice even in a small way, and assuming that any change or reform of the Social Security system is carefully tailored to protect the more vulnerable, seems to me ridiculous. Nobody worries about the single mom who is getting child care assistance so she can work, and whose child care assistance in the state of California, whose budget problems are just a harbinger of what we're going to see at the federal level, is being denied her child care assistance and her ability to work, and nobody is saying, oh my gosh, you know, she should be ahead in the queue of that elderly person with an income above $75,000 a year. So I do think that we are still having a debate about all of that.